This small country in the northern part of Europe is the Netherlands. It may be deceiving because of its small size, but one party has created one of the biggest populist battlefronts in the world, and is changing the way we look at populism because it's one man, Geert Wilders. Born in Venlo, Netherlands in 1963, he was born into a middle-class family, but from 1981 to 1983, he lived in Israel and traveled around the Middle East. During this time is where his anti-Islam views were created, after he stated how much hate he saw sparking from the Islamic religion. This stance would drive his political views when he moved back to Holland. He started his political career with the VVD, People's Party for Freedom and Democracy, or Volkspartij voor Vrijheid en Democratie. However, he left the party in 2004 when they supported Turkey joining the EU, and he saw this as an opportunity to form his own views, as anti-immigration was a rising concern in the Netherlands. He may have left the group, but he left his mark in politics. As Wilders said, it was the perfect time to form his party, and with this, the PVV was born. The PVV, Party for Freedom, was created for one reason, so Wilders could have control and have total say in what the party stands for. Wilders is actually the only member of the party, with no other candidates running against him, but they do have representatives, so when the party wins a parliament seat, they go, but they will vote for Wilders as their main MP of the party, as well as the team that works to help build up Wilders himself. It is one of the only parties that have just one main candidate, and it's really hard to gain momentum with no other second option in case for failure. The far-right party was created in 2006 and wasted no time, winning 9 seats in the 2006 parliamentary election. A new law at the time made it much easier for newer parties to gain traction, as they only needed around 0.6% of the overall vote to gain a seat. And 7 other groups along with the PVV have gained parliamentary representatives since 2002, but the PVV stands out. And parties popped up all throughout the political spectrum, but the Party for Freedom was one of the only far-right groups. The party based its politics and stances on several key ideas: anti-immigration or anti-Islam, Euroscepticism, and nativism. True populist ideologies, as populist leaders follow the ideology of the pure people versus the corrupt elite, as Mude and Cultwise would define. But many leaders use the elite as the opposition. They will say how immigrants or the union, like the EU, is threatening the pure people of the country, as seen with the PVV. From the late 1990s into the early 2000s, nativism and anti-immigration have been on the rise across Europe entirely. Immigration went from around 2 million immigrants a year in 1980 to around 8 million in the late 2010s. This, mixed with high attention to nationalism and nativism, led to more Europeans turning to the far right. This fits right into John Judas's description of right-wing populists, using the people versus the elites, that they accuse of favoring a minority group, in the party's case, the Islamic faith. So the PVV says that the elites are favoring the migrants, this being the EU are favoring migrants and favoring the Islamic religion over native European population. The PVV is very Eurosceptic. This is an ideology where a European nation wants to separate itself from the EU. The party sees the EU as a threat to Dutch power and nationality. After Brexit, which was when the United Kingdom voted to leave the EU in 2016, many political groups wanted their countries to do the same. The PVV is not alone, and it shares ideologies with parties like Italy's Lega Nord and France's National Front. Now, the party is no stranger to protest. With such radical parties come many people that disagree. After their victory in the 2023 election, thousands gathered in Amsterdam to protest. The group called Together for Solidarity was one of the main groups in attendance at the protest, fighting for gay rights, anti-racism, and equality in the country. The Party for Freedom has divided the nation, as although many citizens want to maintain Dutch culture, they don't think anti-Islam is the answer. The stakes are higher in the country than they've ever been. If you turn on the news in the country, it seems like the PVV can't escape the scenes, similar to Trump in the US. Funny enough, Wilders has actually been called the Euro Trump before. Now, the PVV has changed the way the Netherlands has looked at populism. It has been revolutioning the Netherlands in the past 20 years, going from a small dream of Wilders to now gaining more parliament seats than any of the other 15, with around 37 out of the 150 total in parliament. The Party for Freedom has taken the Netherlands by storm, and has changed how Europe looks at the populist parties. Wilders and the PVV have shifted the Netherlands to a more nationalist and anti-immigration stance. Wilders' rise in politics came at just the right time, when a lot of Europeans' views of the EU immigration and nationality were shifting. The PVV has used language, politics, and society in terms of the us versus them religiously. They have used these populist tactics successfully, and populist groups across Europe have been popping up with taking very similar stances to the PVV. The PVV has not only changed the Netherlands' politics, culture, and view of populist parties, but Europe's view as a whole. For good or for bad, the PVV and Wilders are a very powerful party in such a small European nation.